talk to you a little bit before you guys head out today. How was that bike sprint?
Not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good. How does everybody else feel?
Yeah.
The first 5 minutes weren't bad. It was the last 5.
The last 5?
And it was tough to keep the cadence. The first 5,
Okay.
keep the cadence where I needed it to be. The last 5, yeah.
Yeah. A day like today, I feel like the question always is like, why? Why are we doing this? And I like to go back. We have a chart over, or like the 100 words of fitness over here. Brett, do you want to read it? Nice and loud.
Eat vegetables, nuts, seeds, some fruit, low starch, no sugar. Intake levels that will support exercise but not body fat. Practice and train major lifts, deadlifts, clean squat presses, clean and jerks, and snatch. Similarly, master the basics of gymnastics, pull-ups, dips, rope climb, push-ups, sit-ups, presses to handstands, pirouettes.
Okay, you can stop. So you get the idea. What? Perfect, thank you. So you get the idea, and if you didn't hear that, you can read it. But the 100 words of fitness that I want to pay really a close attention to today is the bike, row, swim, run, hard and fast, okay? So power, we've talked about this before, is force times distance divided by time. And today, for your bike interval, your distance was fixed because your pedals on your bike are going, on everyone's Echo bike, it's the same. The distance on the pedal is the same. Your time was fixed, so the only factor that you guys had to basically produce was force, all right? So today, the force that you produced, or the higher wattage number that you had on your bike, aligned with the number of calories that you got. So the higher the wattage, the higher the calories, which meant the higher force you produced, which was more power that you created for that workout, okay? So the calories today were your metric of your power. Does that make sense? We all want results, and I think that's why we are here, and our results are directly proportional to intensity. So your intensity is related to your power, therefore power is equal to how uncomfortable you're willing to get, okay? Or what level of discomfort are you willing to get to on that bike or in a workout? Do you guys feel like today you were extremely uncomfortable on the bike?
Yes.
Yeah, at some point, right?
Yeah, at some point, yeah. I mean, that's what we're trying to get to. And I mean, this is super, you can relate this to if you were riding on that bike for 10 minutes, like a workout that you just did, compared to if you would just walk outside for 10 minutes. The feeling there is completely different, right? You're not going to get results as quickly as you would riding a bike hard and fast for 10 minutes as you would walking. And the feeling, the difference of feeling there is the difference of intensity, okay? So high intensity makes us fitter. We all know that. That's why we're here, and that's why we continue to come to CrossFit. For us, I like to relate this back to the hopper. And if you were here a few months ago, I talked about all the different fitness models of CrossFit. But we want to be balanced amongst all of the skills and drills, or all of the capacities in CrossFit. And so I just kind of like drew a hopper up here, and I put a lot of different movements or capacities in there. We don't care if you can back squat 500 pounds if you're unable to run a mile without stopping. That's kind of the goal of that. So I like to relate this to like Olympic runners. When you look at an Olympic runner, just their physical appearance, what do they look like? Skinny? Yeah. So, I mean, that goes back to that common myth of increasing your cardiovascular system, I feel like a century ago, people thought that you had to do very long runs, basically, for a long duration, right? Long and slow is what they're getting at. And we know that that's not true. When you look at those Olympic runners, they're sacrificing power and strength for speed, right? They only want to be good at one thing, which is fine. They can run a mile repeats for 3 or 4 minutes, right? It's absolutely insane. But they're sacrificing other capacities that we work on in CrossFit, okay? So what I'm getting at is what we did today is effective. And if we want to continue to increase our cardiovascular system or our VO2 max and our lactic threshold, we need to continue doing things like this. That lactic threshold is like, did anybody on the bike get like that concrete feeling in their legs? And it's like, oh my gosh, what is happening? Like your legs feel like they're filling up with like air. It's like terrible. That's that lactic threshold. And the more you do uncomfortable things and the more that you put yourself in workouts that makes you uncomfortable, the longer it's going to take for that feeling to creep in, okay? It's still gonna happen. Even for the fittest people, it happens. It just takes a little bit longer, all right? So high intensity, like what we just did today, improves our cardiovascular system, VO2 max. It helps us exert a lot of power, increases our lactic threshold, and then it creates a neuroendocrine response. So it changes you neurologically or hormonally, and it's amazing if both of those changes can happen at the same time or in the same workout. So what I mean by that is CrossFit workouts can change your mind or they can change your muscles. After a workout, do you feel an increase in your mood? Most people do. Most people feel an increase in their mental stability after a workout, so you're mentally fit. It will change your muscles too. It's going to increase your fat loss, increase your muscle mass, increase your bone density, increase like all your sex hormones, so your testosterone, HGH, things like that. And to wrap this up really quickly, all of this to say, we're going to continue to do things that absolutely suck. And this is why.
You're welcome.
It is good for us. But that's kind of like the scientific reason of why we go hard and fast a lot more than why we go long and slow. Okay? Questions for me? Have a great day, guys.
Thanks, guys.